Welcome back to Digi Bros, everybody.
Ooh, I get to do climby things!
I have handed the controller over to Victor because I realized that anything that takes more than, like, the tiniest amount of thought completely shuts my brain.
I died.
Oh.
Am I supposed to hand it back to you now?
I'll just let you do this platforming section, even though you apparently are miserably bad at it.
Well, I was dicking around.
But you know
what? People have always given this game shit for its, like easy, streamlined platforming, I guess, where everything's highlighted colors or whatever, and I'm like, but I like the platforming in this game. I like it a hell of a lot more than in, like, Assassin's Creed, where you're just, like, holding a button.
Well, because I think it's
like,
just
at least
that,
I feel like I'm jumping between platforms.
yeah, it feels satisfying. Like,
it feels cool.
This game, what a lot of games like this are good at boiling down is, like, you know, there's that whole thing, that game theory video, and, like, based on that book where it was about the different reasons people play games, like,
yeah,
where it was like, oh god, I can only remember Yahtzee's, because Yahtzee's was challenge, catharsis, and context.
yeah.
And then theirs was something slightly, it was like competence, I don't remember the other ones. Yeah, pretentious. But yeah, games like this are great at fulfilling that competence feel, where it's just like, you just want to do things that feel good and make you feel smart or cool, you know, like, just jumping around, even though it's so easy that you don't, like, there's no feeling of accomplishment. I mean, it's satisfying like, to do.
Zelda games are like that, where it's like, the shit's simple, but you feel like you're having fun doing it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I value a lot in Zelda games, is that feeling of basic.
I enjoy that a lot in this game.
Just go down
I was
the hallway.
seeing if it would light this on fire.
I don't believe it will.
Maybe there's a secret item. That was my phone.
Oh, okay.
It does a very intense vibrate now because I got a new messenger app.
Yeah.
Is there really not like a fast run in this game? Am I so used to fucking modern shooting games with their fucking sprinting that I can't just leisurely walk down a hallway anymore? I have to sprint everywhere.
Well, one of my issues with Uncharted that really becomes apparent in the third game is like, they really tried to make it feel very realistic with the way that Nate moves.
Yeah.
And in the third game, that gets real fucking annoying when you have the walking segments. And, like, they tried to make it so, like, his animation perfectly mimics real human walking. But the thing is, like, when you let go of the controller, you know, he has to finish taking that extra step.
Yeah.
Because no human just stops midway. Like think about Dark Souls, how your legs move, but then when you let go, your legs just kind of splay out to the side. It's not realistic. Right. Yeah, like that. And in 3, you kind of have to finish the step, and it's weird because it makes you feel like you're not really controlling him anymore. It's more like you're guiding a human as opposed to controlling an avatar for your movement, you know? And I don't think game movement should ever try that hard to mimic real movement without, you know... Press the button, for fuck's sake!
What?
Do you not see the icon that says press the button?
Oh, is that what that is? But that's a new button I've never seen before because it's a goddamn PS4.
You have to look at that so that he understands what the codes and everything are.
Oh.
See, look, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Do them in that order.
Oh, there's 4.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
You see?
Cool, puzzles.
Yes.
All right, do that one first. Where's that one? Hey, keep talking. I got it.
Yeah, I don't remember what I was talking about.
We're talking about movement, about Nathan Drake jumping around.
Yeah, I get really bothered when games don't have, like, an immediate sense of, like, my controls are exactly what the character's doing, you know?
Yeah.
And I think games that do that well are indeed the Souls games. Like, they really, you feel 1-1 control, and you have to, because it's a lot of precise movement is necessary in those games. You know, you have to be able to, like, navigate your way around an enemy and everything. So, do you remember what the order is? Is that the...
I'm looking for the first. I think this one's the first one. It's like a special looking one.
Well, you can't get up from there. Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That was number 1 for sure.
Fuck yeah! I got it.
Book and find number 2.
Shit yeah!
Oh, something's happening. Oh,
cool
stuff.
Look at that.
It's the funny thing is we talked so much about this game being easy. We have like
an hour.
all that putting it on brutal mode does is increase the combat difficulty. It does not increase the puzzle difficulty.
Well, this is the pay attention shit that we always struggle with in video games.
Not if you were actually like not talking. This would be easy as fuck. Like,
well, that's what I mean. Like, the fact that we're trying to conversate detracts from being able to pay attention.
But I guess like that's the thing though, right? Like
motherfucker.
It's like it takes us like trying to do this on the show takes us down to an intellectual level where this is a challenge. Like,
why the fuck can I? Did I already
press the thing again?
When?
Look at the thing.
That's the second one. It's some dude with a knife, and he's right there.
It's not let me. Maybe go down there and inspect the thing that already came up. See what's going on with that.
Do.
You keep. Why did you?
It's the only prompt I have.
Climb on top of it.
Oh yeah, maybe I gotta weigh it down. Nope, that's just hanging around.
Well, I don't know what's going on.
Well, let me jump back up. Maybe it's. I don't know. Talk about some shit.
I have no idea what's going on, man. Uncharted
there
Let's
we go.
Play
Now it
may or
works.
may not be a long-lived Let's Play series.
Look at that.
Really fucking with my head.
There you go.
I always have trouble when I watch you play games, like with watching you not get it, because then I have to try to get it. You know?
I got it. It just the prompt didn't show up.
It's not that one. It's the other one, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah, it's an angry face.
Yeah. Oh, and I keep forgetting what I was talking about.
I'm gonna go up there.
Jesus Christ.
Talking about Nathan Drake jumping around.
Oh yeah, controls. Yeah. Jesus Christ. I was thinking about doing a video on because I've talked on Bloodborne about how I wanted to do videos on like cool animations in games, like games that animate well. And then like originally we were talking about doing it just for Bloodborne because the animations are so cool in that game. And then I started playing Dark Souls 1 and I realized that I'd rather do a video comparing them across the franchise.
Yeah.
Because Bloodborne is way more satisfying than the other games.
Yeah.
Like, way more.
It's just like they finally perfected the movement.
Oh my god, the animations feel incredible.
It's very hard to go back to the other games.
Yeah, like I was talking...
Like, Dark Souls never felt dated until I played Bloodborne 4 times, and it was like, oh my god.
Yeah. It's hard to understand until you've played it. And like I was talking to Jesse and Gibbon about this because like they both like before I played Bloodborne I was just kind of like I don't think it's as good as Dark Souls. Like I thought it was cool, but those guys both think that it looks like completely boring. Like they have no interest in it.
I don't get that at all.
Well, with Gibbon, it's because he apparently is not interested in the aesthetic at all. He loves castles and dragons kind of stuff and like medieval fantasy, and he's not at all interested in gothic fantasy.
Man.
Jesse thinks that for some reason he thinks Lovecraft stuff is the most overplayed and overused stuff in fiction, and that it's just crutch.
It's not nearly used enough. It feels like it's a rare thing.
Right. That's what I said.
It's only like the most niche things that have Lovecraft shit in it.
I mean, it is used a lot, but I think that Lovecraft is a huge umbrella. Like it, like all.
And I feel like Bloodborne's done it much better than anything else.
That's the argument me and Nate
it's
were
like
making.
Nothing has been so true to that style.
I said that to Jesse. I said, name one Lovecraft thing that's better, and he said Cabin in the Woods. And I'll give him Cabin in the
Woods
is a good Cthulhu mythos story, but like...
But it's not until the very end. Like, it surprises you with it as a twist, as opposed to, like, being an entire style, you know?
Right. Well, in any case, we argued about it, but I was like, the thing about Bloodborne is that so much of what's good about it is much more, like, just it feels good to play.
Yeah.
You know, like, the weapons feel so much better than Dark Souls weapons.
Yeah.
They're so much cooler. They're so much more fun to use.
That's what I was saying, like each one has its own personality and style. And
right, like people criticize the fact that there's not as much variety of weapons, and like
but each one is perfect.
Yeah, it's totally understandable. Like I agree that Dark Souls is more robust and interesting. There's more different ways to play it, but every weapon in Bloodborne is awesome to play with.
Yeah.
Whereas in Dark Souls, a lot of them are just like,
it's like, oh, this is a short sword.
With a mace, you know? Yeah.
This is a mace and that's a mace, and who gives like the difference is that one kind of has a different R2 attack or whatever, and like I don't really care.
And there's not as much like comboing in the attacks where like you just kind of swing over and over again. You just do the same swing, and like in Bloodborne, each move is different. You know, if you keep hitting the same button, then you'll do different attacks. And like I think Dark Souls 2 has the ultimate example of how they fucked up the animations.
Oh, I gotta have
and you have to have
me.
Sully do the other.
The fuck are you at, dude?
I
gotta help him through or something. Gotta run slow as hell, man.
Blow up.
Yeah, obviously.
Hey, jeez.
Boom! Make me do all this bullshit,
hole.
and then the old man just gets to fucking walk around everything.
He's an old man. He's
had
his own adventures when he was young. He has a million stories. That's what's great about him. Anyway, what I was saying, in Dark Souls 2, the worst animation ever is the health bar animation when you heal.
Yeah.
They ruined that.
Dark Souls 2, just every animation sucks, and it's a nightmare.
Because, like, because Jesse was saying how he thinks everyone, like, is overly critical of Dark Souls 2. And he was like, I think people wouldn't be so hard on it if they didn't go into it thinking it sucked. And I was like, well,
I didn't go into it thinking it sucked.
Right. That's what I said.
I went into it halfway through the game. I was like, man, this could be better than Dark Souls 1. And then it's like, over time, it sucked.
Yeah.
Like, I really, really wanted to like it.
Right. And that's what I was telling him. I was like, you know, all my friends played it before anyone knew it sucked, you know?
Yeah. We got it the first day and didn't look at anything, you know?
But I was like, the thing about Dark Souls 2 is that, like, there's a lot to like about that game, because it's very robust. There's a lot of different things you can do. Yeah. There's a lot of fun ways you can play it. You know, it's still got interesting stuff. But everything that's good about Dark Souls 2 was also good about Dark Souls 1, and Dark Souls 1 has none of the flaws.
Yeah.
You know? Where in Dark Souls 2, everything's a waiting game. Everything takes forever. And I think the most indicative is the healing. Because in Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Demon Souls, like, when you're fighting an enemy and it's all intense, and then you get hit, and it's like this visceral feeling like, oh, fuck, I got hit. And all you can think is, I need to get away. I need to heal, right? Yeah. And if you can successfully get away long enough to get that moment where you heal, and then it goes like, and you gain all your health back, it's just as satisfying as landing a hit.
Because in Dark Souls 2, it's all, the motivation for everything is let's make it harder. Like, oh, let's make this harder. Let's make the health bar recover slowly and it's harder.
You take a drink and your health bar only just slowly increases, and what that does is in Dark Souls 1 it was like you got away, you made like this rough retreat, you had to get away from the enemy, you took a drink, you feel like a badass, and then you run back in to pummel them again, right? Yeah. In Dark Souls 2, you go back, and the thing is, taking a drink is already a risk because it takes a second. You know, you have to like stop what you're doing.
And that's why the life gems are faster, because you can still walk while you use them.
Right, but like you had to find the right chance, that one moment where you could stop and take a drink, and it's satisfying. In Dark Souls 2, you stop, you find that moment, you take a drink, but then you still have to wait like 5 seconds before it actually heals you. And so you're just like waiting around, you know, like you have to keep dodging, there's none of that satisfaction of, aha, I did it, I got my drink, you know? Like, you don't get that. You just get, I better stay away from the enemy, I better get as far away as possible so I can fucking take a drink.
I can't take that shit anymore.
Now I'm blind. I cannot see it anymore.
For real?
Yes. I am now
barely
completely blind.
Any different.
It's way different.
Dude, what is wrong with your eyes? It's driving me insane.
I can't see shit, okay?
It's just so dark.
I don't really think it's that dark.
Maybe it's just the blacks are very black in this game, and so it's like
that is
throwing
true.
me off. It's got a lot of contrast.
There is a lot of contrast. It's
anyways,
also...
I love that we're playing Uncharted now. We're still bitching about Dark Souls games.
My
the playthrough's over.
Well, we were talking about it because we're talking about animations and how a big part of what makes the like climbing in this game satisfying is that he climbs with these really satisfying animations.
And it's another thing where, you know, stuff breaks apart as you climb and you feel like there's no way back.
That whole no way back thing you keep talking about, I've always found corny as fuck.
I mean, it gets corny in Uncharted because it gets too played out over every game, but like initially it's a cool idea.
I have always, like, from the first time I saw it, I thought it was corny because my reaction is always, so I'm the first one, like you know, this has been untouched for 100 years, and as soon as I touch it, it all breaks apart conveniently, you know, in a way that I can't go back.
I mean, it's corny, but it's interesting to me in a way, especially from this being like the first game where that probably wasn't done in a lot of things before this game.
This is a part I remember being like see, the thing about Uncharted again, with the sequels is that they kept trying to one up the set pieces.
Yeah.
And I think that's
it has to get bigger every day. It's like Hollywood movies. It's gotta get bigger every time.
This is cool.
Yeah.
This is a cool image. This is a fucking U-boat, a submarine teetering on a cliff. How did it get here? How does a submarine...
It is like, how the fuck did this boat get way up on this cliff?
Specifically a German submarine.
How the fuck did it get there?
And it's in the middle of, like, a tropical land, right?
Like, it had to have fallen down that waterfall and gotten trapped here.
Well, no, it's like part of the plot is why it's there. It's like something to do with the German conspiracy or whatever. But, like, that alone is cool, and you didn't need to do anything else to make it, like, cooler. Yeah. Whereas, like, in the other games, there's parts where it's like they tried to make it like, oh, you're running through a burning building while it's on fire, and it's just like, this is a little, like, this isn't really fun. It's just, like...
It's not adventures. That's more like action movie versus adventure movie, you know?
Right. Well, like, because with 2, they put in a lot of those scenes where, like, there's the part where you're on the train and you're, like, platforming up, like, a moving train and stuff, and then, like, the train crashes and you fucking have to crawl up through the wreckage of the train. Like, it's a neat scene, but that became what defined Uncharted after that, because Uncharted 2 reviewed, like, obscenely well, you know, like, people treated it like Game of the Year and everything because of those, like, that stuff. Whereas, like, I had actually enjoyed Uncharted 1 more because it felt more like I was in the world myself, you know. Like look at what we've done so far. There hasn't been any, like, big... Yeah. Like there was that scene where you ran across the planks that was kind of a scripted sequence thing, but, like, the controls were the same as normal. Yeah. It wasn't like you suddenly were slow. It starts off
small and then gets bigger as it goes.
Right, and, like, you really feel like you're up, like doing this stuff, and there's a lot more gunfights, a lot more time where you're just, like, by yourself, you know, like this. Whereas in 2, there was just, like, so much of the big scripted sequence scenes, and, like, I felt like that took away from the game to me, but you know, reviewers fucking loved that shit. They praised the fuck out of it. So then when 3 came along, it was like, oh, we gotta one-up everything. It's gotta be crazy set pieces. You know, oh, we're gonna start off with a heist scene, and then we're gonna do all this other bullshit. And,
it's an action movie. I think my favorite PS3 platformer was the Prince of Persia, like, reboot game that I don't think anyone liked.
Like, no one
that
played.
Game was fun as hell.
I don't think it said no one liked it. I think it said no one played it. Yeah. Because I remember Yahtzee gave it a good review.
It's all just platforming just like this. Like, that's the whole game, is just jumping around, and, like, you get various new mechanics to jump around with, and you're just like, man, I'm jumping around. This is fun.
I remember that game catching a little bit of flack for being, like, you can't die. Like, you would die and you'd immediately respawn where you die.
But, like, you're just like, cool, I'm jumping around, it feels cool. Yay. It's very straightforward.
Alright, next time on Digi Bros, we're going to see what's inside this German U-boat that's on a cliff.
U-boat. U-torrent boat.